Hey guys, it's Amanda, and today's video I am very excited about. So as you can tell from the title, it's how to make friends in college. These are tips for, making friends in college and general like social life tips. And, obviously disclaimer, there isn't a step-by-step guide to make friends. Like there's no exact formula you can follow. So yeah, last year around this time, I was a freshman going into college, and I was watching basically all the types of college social life advice videos you could ever possibly watch on YouTube. So I thought that, full circle, I'd come around and make one of my own and hopefully help any of you guys who are nervous and going into college this coming fall. So the first thing I would say that you need to make friends is to just go into it with being positive and open-minded. If you're positive and open-minded, you can attract so many more people than if you're like closed off and like negative. I would say like really don't judge anyone by their cover when you go to college. Like there's so many different types of people when you go to college compared especially if you're going to a big school or if you're leaving your small town. Like there's going to be so many different types of people, and even if you have ingrained stereotypes about certain a way someone dresses or how they look, I would say really do your best to like eradicate those and really see everyone as equals, because at the end of the day, that's literally what everyone is. Like you don't need to create any sort of hierarchy in their head, like, oh, they look cool so they won't be friends with me, or any types of things like that. I would say just like honestly be so open-minded, be really positive, send like I know this sounds like so like hippy-dippy, but like send your positive vibes out there and they will be returned. My second tip is, if this specifically applies to if you have always been deemed like a shy or quiet person growing up, quiet is not a personality trait. Shy is not a personality trait, okay? You're not shy around your best friends. You're not shy around your family. You know what I mean? So I would really say, like, if that's kind of how you grew up, you were always that kind of person, I would say like really try to like or take off those labels from yourself and don't let them define you or confine you. Like just because in the past you probably wouldn't go up to someone and introduce yourself and say hi doesn't mean that you can't do it now. I found that I really just had to like get out of my own head and kind of get out of my how others viewed me and how I viewed myself in the past as a shy and quiet person, and like introduce myself to people. And introducing yourself to people doesn't have to be a big ordeal. Like literally, like if you're standing in line on move-in day, just turn around to the person behind you, say, hey, I'm so-and-so, like what's up, like what's your major, how are you doing, where are you coming from? Like just really challenge yourself to like at least say hi to one person on the first day of school, at orientation, wherever. And I think it really just makes a world of difference in building up your confidence and knowing that, hey, I can take that first step. The person doesn't have to be your best friend. It doesn't have to go anywhere. During the first day and weeks of college, you'll meet so many people who you'll say hi to and bye to and probably never see them again, but that's so okay. And it's just really good to like get practice of putting yourself out there and like verbalizing who you are. So yeah. So my third tip is to connect with your roommates, suite mates, floor mates. I think it's really helpful to be friendly with the people who you see the most and who you live around the most. I think with these types of people that you see, they don't necessarily have to be your best friends in the world. I know for some people, be your roommates, your suite mates, some of your floor mates, they might become your best friends, which is great. That wasn't personally the case for me, but I found that it was like really nice to be friendly with my roommates, because even just seeing them around campus, you have someone to say hi to. If they invite their friends over, you can kind of like mingle with them and interact with them as well. So yeah, I would definitely say be friend. Like you might not have that much in common with your roommates, but I think just like being courteous and respectful and friendly with them and definitely makes a world of difference in terms of having people that you can go to ask for help, or even if you just want to like invite someone to go to lunch with you. So yeah. My next tip would be really don't be afraid to go to things alone. Like I remember during the first week of school they had a lot of fun events and a lot of cool things going on, but I did not have like any friends at the time, so I honestly just had to go to quite a few things alone. And I know this sounds super daunting and scary at first, and I'm not saying I made friends out of going to things alone. Like, you can introduce yourself to people and you can make friends out of it. I personally that didn't happen for me. But I would say if you practice like going to things alone and being comfortable by yourself in public, I feel like that's just a really good skill to have, and that you shouldn't necessarily rely on people to feel comfortable in a public setting. As much as this video is about how to make friends in college, I think that, you know, it doesn't happen in an instant for some people, and being content with your own company is a really great skill to have. I found that like relying on having friends and friendships and people in your life, I found that, I don't know, I just kind of lost the ability to be comfortable by myself for a little while. Friends and relationships are so necessary to life, but also sometimes I think we get to be such social creatures that we forget that we have ourselves, and that, you know, we have our own thoughts that we can deal with, and that being able to be by yourself, whether it's going to a movie, a show, or lunch, or sitting in the park, it's a really valuable skill, and reflecting and having time with yourself is really a valuable thing, especially because you're probably going to get to a point in college where it's like you have so many friends and relationships and things going on that like you want moments to yourself. So I would definitely say learning how to be alone is a really important skill, and it kind of helps you not rely on people too much to bring you happiness. My next tip, this is pretty self-explanatory, pretty basic, but join clubs. If you're joining a club, chances are you're going to meet people who are quite similar to you and have similar interests to you, and that is always a great basis for a friendship. My next tip is don't live in the past, and what I mean by this is don't spend your time reminiscing about your friends from high school, and don't go home every single weekend, because I know some people kind of fall into that trap of literally like they miss home and they live not too far, so they'll go home one weekend and then they go home every weekend, and a few months into school they'll realize like, wow, I don't have that many friends, and it's simply because they're just not spending a lot of time around the people who go to their college. So I would say, you know, if you want to go home, I would really not recommend going home the first weekend of college. Like, really try it out, really try to immerse yourself in your new social life. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that you guys limit the amount of times you go home, especially within the first couple months of school, just because that's one of the easiest times to form friendships, because like basically everyone is looking to make friends. My next tip is, I've kind of said this before, but really just don't expect to make your best friends or an amazing friend group right away. This happens for some people, and that's great. It personally didn't happen for me, and I know it didn't happen for a lot of people. Friendships, I realize, are to an extent that's something a little bit of fate. I find that basically you're friends with people who are around you the most, which is why I made a lot of my friends from my residence hall, I think. And you know, I would say don't be concerned if in the first month or two you haven't found your solid friend group or your BFF or whatever. It's literally like the 2 months out of 4 years of your college experience. So I would say don't put too much pressure on that aspect. And going along with this, I would say don't try to like stick to a group of people or a person just because you want a friend and like you don't truly like them that much. I would say it's better to like be out there like searching for your true friends rather than sticking to people who you don't really think your values align with, just to have people to be around. My next tip is for more of the classroom setting. I would really challenge you guys to make at least one like friend / acquaintance / just get their number for at least one person in each of your classes. So this is honestly really great when it comes to like you miss class and you need to like find out what happened, or if you need help with the homework or a study buddy or whatever. So this tip will not only help you academically, but socially. I think I did this for almost all of my classes and it worked out pretty well for me, so yeah. So those are all the tips I wrote down, but now I'm just gonna try to like freestyle and tell you guys anything else that I would recommend about the college social life. Sometimes I honestly kind of forget to talk about this in my videos, like the social aspect of college that comes with like partying, and I don't talk about this in my videos a lot, I would say, just because that wasn't really my experience. I, you know, definitely like drinking, partying, that's a thing at NYU and in New York City. A lot of people have fake IDs because that is, some people say you need a fake ID to like survive here, to like have a social life and go out. Personally, that's not the case for me. I'm someone who, I never really did that kind of thing in high school, so I don't really like go out and party in college either. So I know that's like an aspect of social life, but I honestly just can't really give much perspective and tips on that, just because that's not my personal experience. So I just want to let you guys know that. Other than that, I would say that the social life aspect is really important part of college. As much as you're paying for your education, you're paying to be around some really smart and amazing people who are future leaders, who hopefully you'll connect with and work with in the future. That's a big aspect of college. And I think that all really starts with making friends and, you know, connecting over something. Not everything has to be about like networking. And yeah, I would say if you guys are genuinely yourselves, this is so cheesy, if you're genuinely yourself and you really put your best foot forward, that people will be attracted to that. Also, another random tip, be prepared to do your introduction spiel. You'll probably have to do this a lot, whether you go to like a club or class or whatever. Say your name, your age, where you're from, your major, and a fun fact about you. I would really recommend really thinking about that fun fact. I feel like all my fun facts were so dumb. It was like, I have siblings, I have a dog, like who cares? But yeah, maybe thinking of a cool fun fact is helpful. So yeah, my camera is going to die soon, but I really hope that this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any more questions, leave them below. And if you have any more requests for college type videos, also leave those below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great school year, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!